What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here. I'm back with another video, and as you can see, I'm going to be doing my Toronto Maple Leafs 2017-2018 season preview. Now, I know what you're thinking. I already did season previews for all the divisions in the NHL, all 4 divisions, but here's the thing. I do a season preview for the Toronto Maple Leafs every year, and I wanted to keep that going because they are my favorite team, and there are a lot of Leaf fans that watch these videos, so I feel like it would only be right if I made a video as well for that certain fan base. And I'm trying to do the previews for every single team. They'll start next season. It's just right now, with everything that was going on, the divisional season previews was the best for me because just a ton of things have been happening, and I'm trying to upload consistently for you guys. So before we start the video, make sure you subscribe if you're new. I'd really like to have more hockey conversations with you. Lots of live streams, lots of videos, lots of content in general coming up. But that's not what you're here for right now. You're here for the Toronto Maple Leafs season preview. Now, let's be honest. The Toronto Maple Leafs shocked a lot of people last year and were way better than people expected. I think a lot of people were thinking another tank year, or at least being in the bottom 5 of the league. And everybody's like, oh, they're going to get Liljegren because he's going to be in a top 5 spot. Well, what do you know? The Leafs were a good team, and Liljegren fell to the Leafs, and everything worked out. But let's start at the beginning. The Toronto Maple Leafs last season obviously exceeded a lot of expectations. You know, we got pretty solid goaltending, not to start, but at the end we pretty much had a pretty solid season from Freddie Anderson. All of the rookies, Matthews, Nylander, Marner, Brown, Hyman, everybody was just lighting the lamp, and it all started to come together, and the Leafs looked like a very good team. They went into the playoffs, and they put up a hell of a fight against the Washington Capitals, and they were taken out in the first round. But it put the league on notice that everybody needs to watch out for the next generation Toronto Maple Leafs. And I think it's fair to say that a lot of people who might have hated the Leafs before, I think we've gained as a fan base a lot more people. And it's not just a bandwagon thing. I also think it's out of respect. I think there's a lot of people that really respect the Toronto Maple Leafs and what they've accomplished just through one season already, and I think everybody's really happy to see them progress this season, and I think it's going to be a wild ride, and I think this team is going to be a playoff team once again. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't like is when people predict exact points, because you're either going to be way lower or way too high with point predictions. So I'm not going to do that. All I'm going to say is the Leafs are probably going to end up higher in the standings than they were last season. I still think that Tampa's going to run away when it comes to winning the division and, you know, the entire conference. I think that Tampa is going to be an absolutely amazing team this year. I think Montreal has a chance to be very good, but I think the Leafs are arguably, or they could be, the second best team in the division, and I don't think it's too far-fetched to say that. The Leafs obviously lost some guys this year. Brian Boyle, keep fighting, Brian. Everybody's behind you. He's no longer on the team, but I don't think, other than that, there wasn't anything too crazy that the Leafs lost. Like, the Leafs pretty much kept their core together, which is obviously what every team wants, and it's a young core. This team is going to have, I'm not going to say dynasty, but they're going to be a very good team for a very long time. So I've predicted the lines already, and I was pretty much completely off because that's how it should be. I mean, we're all not going to predict the right lineup right off the bat, but the Leafs did acquire some other pieces that are going to be inserted into the lineup as well, such as Ron Hainsey, and then obviously we're going to have probably Borgman as a defenseman coming in, and you know, it's going to be generally the same team. And if we're looking at the lines of what it's going to look like this year, it looks like it's going to be Hyman, Matthews, and Nylander. And then, you know, there's no second, third, fourth line. I think it's Babcock just likes to use all of his lines. So the second line is going to be Van Riemsdyk, Bozak, and Marner. The third line, again, Marlowe with Kadri and Komarov. And then the fourth line is probably, to start the season, going to be fair in the middle. You're going to have Brown and Matt Martin. So I expect Brown and Komarov, they'll probably flip-flop a little bit. I can see Brown getting some more minutes because, I mean, he did score 20 goals. And, you know, this guy has just been battling his, you know, his critics his entire career, his young career so far, not just in the NHL, in the AHL, and in the OHL. A lot of people have doubted Connor Brown in his career. He wasn't a high draft choice, but he is personally one of my favorite players, if not my favorite player, just because of his will to win and the way he plays the game. And his 20 goals were well-deserved, and I think he'll move up in the lineup. On defense, you're probably going to have Riley and Hainsey, and then Gardner, Zaitsev, and then you're probably going to have Borgman with Carrick. Now, people are saying Marincin might take that spot, which I please no. Marincin cannot be on this team. He can be a guy that's in the press box and, you know, be a good sport sitting up there, but I can't see this guy being on the team and actually playing every night. Rosen, I'm not sure if he got sent down yet. I've been trying to keep up with it, but I believe he's a guy that could slide in here and there. Even if he's not making the official roster right off the bat, he's a guy that could slide in. And that's the same thing with Dermott. He's going to see some NHL time at one point this year. He's going to see a couple games. The injuries are bound to happen. The Leafs were actually very good with not getting injuries last season. So hopefully it's the same, knock on wood, that it's the same this year. The guys that are probably going to be the extra forwards are probably going to be like Levo. Unfortunately, he can't be on this team. Look at Kapanen. He's already back with the Marlies. And then Dominic Moore is probably going to be in the press box as well. A guy like Miro Waltonen's probably not going to make this squad because he's not going to make the opening night squad. But Babcock has said that he will be in the NHL at some point this season because he is an NHL-style player. Honestly, the Leafs lineup doesn't look too bad. And then in goal, you're going to have Frederik Andersen starting with Curtis McElhinney as the backup. This is going to be a very interesting season for the Maple Leafs. I think there's a lot of high expectations. A lot of people are expecting them to be a better team than they were last season, and I think that's fair to say. They've made some improvements. They have the right guys in management. We've got a good GM, a lot of good young pieces in this team when it comes to management as well, like Kyle Dubas. And you also have a great coaching staff with one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in the league, in Mike Babcock. And it's hard not to like the fact that the Leafs have so much depth at forward. We'll have to see what happens with Lupul. Could you imagine if he comes back? I doubt it. He's going to get the second opinion. But this Leaf team is very deep when it comes to forwards. Their defense could still use some work, and I expect that the Leafs could do something at the deadline. And, you know, goaltending is solid. And the one question I wanted to answer, a lot of people have been asking, is the fact that people are mad that Patrick Marleau was added to this team and no number one defenseman was really added to this team. Well, here's the thing. You get deeper on forward with Marleau. The guy could probably score you 25 to 30 goals. And that is still a possibility with this guy. He won't put up a ton of points, but he will score goals. The Leafs could make a deal at the deadline. You have to remember, the Leafs can bury the cap if they need to do it. If Lupul is in fact injured and, you know, he's not coming back, Horton and Lupul will be moved to the LTIR, which will already clear up some space. And then if they needed to bury Eric Fair's contract in the minors, bring up Miro Waltonen or put Dominic Moore in that position, they're going to have enough cap room to be able to make a move at the deadline. And I think that it is a possibility due to the depth that the Leafs have at forward. They could easily make a move for a defenseman at the deadline. And I expect that's something that they're going to look at. Bearing an injury, maybe they'll look at another forward, but that's highly unlikely with all the young talent they have in the minors that they could bring up that have basically no cap attached to them. So I would expect the Leafs to do something. If they really feel like they're making a push and they're not going to, you know, ruin the farm and get rid of all the draft picks, they'll make a move at the deadline. And like I said, I really do have high expectations, not to the fact where it's like, oh, they're going to win the cup. It's you know, I'd like to see a decent playoff run, and with the forward group that they have, I think that the defense is not as big as an issue just based off the fact that the Leafs are going to be able to score a lot of goals. And we've seen that in the preseason that they've been pretty good. Matthews, Nylander, and Hyman have been absolutely lights out. They've been scoring like crazy. and the whole team is going to follow suit. This is going to be a good year. This is going to be a good year of hockey. And, you know, I didn't want to make this video too long. Just enjoy hockey this year, guys. It's going to be great. And yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. I just wanted to make a fairly quick Leafs season preview. I actually, before this video, I was like, man, this is gonna go 20 minutes, but I did not want to bore you guys to death. I just wanted to quickly give a brief intro to the Leafs season, and I'm sure you guys have watched other people do it, like Steve Dangle, but I just want to give you guys my quick thoughts, and that's what this is for, and I want to hear what you guys think. Leaf fans or not Leaf fans, let me know what you guys think about the Leafs heading into this season. Who's your favorite players on the Leafs? And if you're new, make sure you subscribe. I'd love to have more hockey conversations with you. That's what this channel is all about. Let's support each other. Go support other YouTubers. Go sub to some other channels. That'd be really cool. I am taking your guys' suggestion. I'm going to be doing some NHL 18 videos as well with the green screen and whatever I can do, live streaming. There's going to be a lot of stuff, so subscribe to stay tuned. We're on our way to 2,000. I know it's very, very far away, but we're going to do it at the end of this hockey season. I'm hoping we're going to get to 2,000. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.